Morning, my dear ones, and welcome into the sanctuary. Here we are, first Sunday of October, moving into fall, changing cycles, and happy to do that, and allowing ourselves to be part of that change too, knowing that change is good and very good. Well, as you know, we change themes every month in our wonderful, great universal community, and the theme for this month is divine expression. Spirit showing up in myriads of expressions and what that means to us. And alongside of that, today we're asked to look at, as we do every Sunday, a particular universal belief in the teaching. And today we are asked to remember that we believe in, absolutely, we believe in the amazing, intuitive intelligence that expresses itself spiritually through each and every one of us, through the nature that we are, the true and real essence of our nature, that of spiritual beingness, that of universal, everlasting spiritual beingness, that nothing is permanent in a material world, but in the world of spirit, the essence of you and the essence of me is eternal. So the whole idea is to understand ourselves as this amazing point of energy, this point of power through which that which is invisible passes into the visible, beginning first and foremostly with your beingness and my beingness. Spirit passes itself into form by means of you and by means of me, which is awesome. And so you and I are the very essence of the source of our being, the creator of our being, and yet that's something that's kind of, we seem estranged from too much of the time. And that's where we're looking. So two very important words appear here, intuition and truth, that the truth is always demonstrating and expressing itself through you and through me. So truth, what is truth? Well, Ernest Holmes says that truth is God knowing itself. That's what Ernest Holmes says. Truth is God in expression. And when our expression is godly, all power is ours. It's given to us, and we can use that for great good in our own lives and the good in the lives of others. And go to the dictionary and you'll find that intuition, there's a string of words this length that describes what it is, from, clairvoyance and all kinds of wonderful things, to truth as essential, actual existence, truth as beingness, truth as the essential state of any particular thing. And that's what we get to look at, very big concepts, We believe in this amazing, direct revelation of the truth through the intuitive and spiritual, intelligent nature of each and every one of us. Now that's a mouthful. What does it mean when we break it all down? It means simply that you and I are awesome, amazing, potent, powerful, ridiculously intelligent, and we are permanent expressions in the cosmos, in the universe, and all of creation, forever and ever and ever. That's what it means. But hey, that's just a sentence you're listening to. But is it a perception you have about yourself? Is it a feeling you have about yourself? Is it an awareness you have about yourself? I don't think it is for you or for me most of the time, because if it was with us most of the time, we wouldn't have a care in the world. There wouldn't be a bother on us, as my mother would say. Sure, what are you complaining about, child? There's not a bother on you. You see, we wouldn't. So obviously, we're not getting it. So today, we have the opportunity for the coming week to focus on it and get it. That we are this individualized expression of our source. Now, we are not, contrary to our imagining, we're not individuals at all. We have individual bodies, But we are not individuals. We are individualized expressions of the one life, the one intelligence, the one power, the one infinite beingness. That's what we are. And yet we fight for our individuality all the time. What we ought to be fighting for, in a lovely way, is to be the individualized expression of the true life that we are, the intelligence that we are, the awesomeness that we are, the amazing, incredible being that we are. Not for our ego fighting for our individuality. Don't they know who I am? Well, I certainly know who you all are. And it's not what you're presenting. And I hope you know what I am, and it's not what I'm presenting either. It's so much more than that. Life is a ball. Life is supposed to be recreation. Life, recreation. It's supposed to be a celebration. It's supposed to be something that's good and whole and wholesome. And life is supposed to have us wake up in the morning and go, yippee, can't wait to get up and out of the bed. Can't wait to race into another great good day with all of its expected and unexpected good. Yeah. I listened to a talk very recently, and it was wonderful, and it was at the ministers' gathering in San Diego. And the title was, Get Up, Clean Up, Show Up, Grow Up, and then you'll wake up. See? So how many of us get up out of the bed in the morning ready to, get up, clean up, show up 100% so that we can grow up and wake up? It's a wonderful challenge. It's something we could all ponder this week. Just that one sentence. How indeed do we get up in the day? How do we clean up? How do we show up? Do we grow up? How awake are we? See, intuition is our friend, and you and I are here to hone it and sharpen it and relate to it and trust it, learn to trust it. And it shows up, according to the dictionary, as a hunch sometimes. You get this hunch, or it's a gut reaction to something. And the dictionary says that intuition is pure, unlearned knowledge. It is something you know, and you know that you know, and you haven't any precognition of it, you haven't any preponderance about it, you haven't been thinking about it, you haven't been contemplating it, you haven't been reasoning around it, none of that. All of a sudden, it's like the light bulb goes on out of the blue. You know that you know that you know. Except it's not out of the blue. It's somehow or another you gave your intuition an opportunity to show up. You gave it a slight window to come through, and it came through for you. How many times have all of us experienced intuition? We usually drive this way or that way or the other. Suddenly we say, I'll take this route. Then you discover there was an accident on that one. You have not thought about a person for donkey's years. And all of a sudden you get up and you go and you phone that person and say, I was just thinking about you. Now, how does that happen? It happens because there's one mind and we're all thinking into it. There's one consciousness, universal consciousness, and each individualized expression of it, you and me, are contemplating into it. One. And because there's only one mind and every one of us is thinking into it, our thoughts are all connecting, our energy fields are all connecting, and we can tune into each other because it's all the one thing, the one pool of energy. And we're filling it up with our own individualized expression of energy. See, all of these lights are not individual lights. The bulbs are individual bulbs, But the light is not individual light, it's one light coming through the one current of light, the one bed of energy. But they're not, we don't say, turn the bulb on. We say, turn the light on. The light, singular, the light on. The light on. And just as those lights there are not separate and apart from each other, neither are we. We're all interconnected. We're in the one current of energy, the one consciousness, the one mind. We're all using it. Now, intuition is what helps us to be able to hone into that pool of awareness, that pool of feeling, that pool of knowledge, and know what's going on in there in certain individual aspects of it. And the more our intuition is sharpened, the more we're able to be in that capacity to have that perception, to have that sixth sense that is described in the dictionary. The sixth sense. Everyone has it. It's not just given to a few, but a few have honed it very well. And so what is asked of you this week, what is asked of me this week, is to endeavor to embrace the truth that sets us free. Now, here's the thing about the truth. You can never fully grasp it or understand it. It's an infinite thing. It's an unlimited thing. It's an unconditioned thing. And it's beyond just the human ken. However, we can grow deeper in the awareness of the truth that sets us free, and that's what we're talking about. That's what Ernest Holmes is always talking about when he mentions the truth. It's the truth. Know ye that, know the truth, and the truth can set you free. It's inside on the wall. As soon as you come in those doors, you see it. Most of us don't see it anymore. We just come in. But there it is. Know ye the truth, and the truth shall set you free. But however, anything that has been imprisoned has always had to make an endeavor to free itself, whatever it was. Anybody who's ever felt imprisoned in some way had to go through some kind of process in order to free themselves from that which was imprisoning them. So the thing about the truth is, in the beginning, until you're aware of it in an intimate way, until you have this trusting, intimate relationship with it, it can shake us up, it can disturb us, it can unsettle us, it can seem like a confrontation that we don't want. It's too difficult, it's whatever. It shakes us around and knocks our complacency all over the place, and so on and so forth. So we have to be very careful about what we're asking for. Do we really want to know the truth that sets us free? Do we want to embrace the truth that sets us free from all the nonsense of the egoic world, the exterior egoic world? Do we want that? Because if we do, be ready to be unsettled. Be ready to be discomforted, uncomfortable. Be ready to be shaken up, baby, because we are going to be twisting and shouting as a result of our invitation to the truth that set us free. And we're not going to like it sometimes. You know, spiritual life is not something that keeps us in the miasma, that keeps us in the mesmerization of unreality. Spirituality is in your face if you want to unfold as a spiritual being. And it's going to cause you to whimper at times, to protest at times, to resist at times, and me too, until it doesn't. That's just the beginning of the turbulence and the truculence that happens when we take on something new and something very different. And in the doing of that, we're asked to let go of old ways, old thoughts, old habits, old attachments, so that we can experience ourselves anew. If you want to experience yourself anew, and I want to experience myself anew, I have to do something different. I have to do something new. I have to be open to that happening. I can't be the same old, in the same old way I think, the same old way I feel, the same old way I do, the same old way I show up, the same old way I don't show up, whatever that is. It's got to change. So know ye the truth, and the truth will set you free is dynamite. And it goes off sometimes in a way we least expected. And in a way that is not what we thought it was going to be, where we can get into all of that wonderful energy and so on and so forth, and feel so at peace and so at one. And, oh, it's so beautiful, the music, the candles, the flowers, the scents, the this and the that. Oh no, it'll knock you upside down and inside out and slap you up the side of the head, etc., until we get it. Until we get it. Just like our parents, when we thought they were naggers and all of that and couldn't wait to get out of the house sometimes and so on. Well, that's the way it is with the truth, the same. But be not afraid. Be not afraid. It's just a learning curve. And once we get through the difficult, challenging, awkward parts, and there will be difficult, challenging, and awkward parts, it's just so amazingly, stunningly, gloriously rewarding and transforming. So why wouldn't we take it on? Because an awful lot of us are like St. Augustine. Oh, God, please make me a good, whole man. But not today. Wait until tomorrow. So the invitation this week is to wake up by getting up, cleaning up whatever needs to clean up in us, our thoughts, our habits, or whatever that is, showing up, saying, yes, I'm ready. I'm going to show up for this now. I'm taking it on. I'm looking at that bull, and I'm taking it by the horns, and I will not be afraid. Because this bull is friendly, maybe bucking and kicking and so on, but it doesn't have any harm in mind for me. But I know I have to hold on to those horns and match it and look at it and be not afraid. That's showing up, putting my back to it, as our parents used to say. Put your back to it, child, And then the showing up will take us into growth and advancement, and we will grow up and out and deeper and higher and wider. And then we will wake up. But I want us, when we do wake up in the truth that sets us free, to be able to remain in the awakened state. And for that to happen, you and I have to just be different. Think differently, feel differently, be different. Choose to go with the discomfort of something that's not familiar to me yet, and not fall back on our old ways of thinking, feeling, and doing. Now, when you and I do that, when you put on the mind that was in the Christed Jesus, in the Buddha, and in all those who are deemed to be enlightened on this plane, and who are enlightened on this plane, mark my words, you can bet your last dollar, there are enlightened beings on this plane that we know not of. There have to be, or we'd blow ourselves to bits by now. And so they're always there in service to humanity and to this beautiful earth. And they are there. And you never know. You could know one and not know it. You could be one, and we may not know it. But that's for you to experience as well. Because you can. Why? Because you're made in the image and the likeness of your source. You come from and out of an infinite, amazing energy, force, power. That's what you're formed out of. That's what I'm formed out of. And the form that you have and the form that I have is shot through with that power and that energy, that intelligence. And so we are of it, and of it we are available to all its power and all of its expression. You see, here the thing is, there is this magnificent, beautiful spirit, life itself, within each and every one of us, awaiting our recognition of it so that it can express itself fully by means of you and me. It awaits you. It doesn't force itself ever. It awaits your invitation, your recognition, so that it can express magnificently through each and every one of us. That's how honoring it is of our freedom, of our individualized, amazing, awesome soulfulness, spiritedness. And it knows that sooner or later, one day, we will recognize it and allow that full expression. But until then, it may still be lying in repose within each and every one of us until we give it the go-ahead, full steam ahead. Full steam ahead. So I'm going to ask you the question as I've asked us this morning. When did you last amaze yourself because you recognized who and what you are? When did tears flow copiously out of your eyes and down your cheeks and wet your clothes because you recognized you were not alone and never have been? When did you last burst into song, burst out dancing because of the power and the energy and the presence that you acknowledged wanted to express itself through you, and you couldn't help yourself? This should be happening all the time as just a regular given, a constant. Because that kind of energy wants to celebrate itself. It wants to express in a celebratory way. Why? Why do you think that is? Because you, as life, as the life of spirit, is pure celebration. It's the only reason why you are. You're here to know yourself as the spirit self, as your essential essence, as your power, as your magnificence, as your radiance, as your goodness, godliness. That's why you're here. And look at how we settle for so much less than that. And here's the thing about understanding ourselves. We all want to understand each other, of course we do. We want to understand each other because we don't want to be upsetting each other all the time and annoying each other all the time and hurting each other all the time and then having to make amends all the time. We want to understand each other so that we can be better with each other and so that we can have the richness of what it is to be in relationship with another. But it's impossible. It's not going to happen. We cannot understand each other. Why? We can't understand anyone until we first understand ourselves, and we do not understand ourselves until we know who we are and what we are and why we're here. To be life's expression. So have patience, endless patience with yourself and each other, because there's no way you're going to understand anyone out there until you first get it here. So don't be surprised when we upset each other and irritate each other and misunderstand each other and so forth. We do it through ignorance. We do it through spiritual forgetfulness. We do it because we think we're individuals and we don't understand that you are me and I am you. We're one thing, we're one life expressing itself in different vehicles, so to speak. It's like we're all the one thing showing up in different cars. There are all kinds of cars, aren't there? We all have our preferences. But we're not the car. We drive the car. Some of us nearly almost live in the car. But we're not the car. We may feel one with the car, but we're not the car. We're the driver of the car. We forget we're drivers, and we allow ourselves to be driven, you see. And some people are quite happy to sit back and say, oh, yeah, you can drive. Oh, yeah, whatever you're having on the menu, I'll have. Oh, all of these things ask us to wake up. So today, I'll leave you with this. Whatever it is that's going on in your life, it doesn't have to keep going on in your life. Whatever nonsense we're engaged in, it doesn't have to continue. Whatever it is that is challenging us over and over again, it can't stop. And the only way it's all going to stop is by you and me taking our power back from whatever we have given it to and saying,
I don't think so. You have no power over me. You're not the boss of me. And now I am taking charge of my life again. And this is what I'm knowing. And you state the truth, that not by myself, but by the power and the presence of the life that lives me, all good things are mine and I can have them. My good is there for me and I'm supposed to have it, as Emmett Curtis Hopkins keep telling us. What's stopping us? One thing and one thing alone: how we think, how we feel, and as a consequence of the thinking, the feeling, how we act. So today, my dear ones, you and I can be the celebration that life wants us to be. We can indeed be the music of the spheres, the song of the Sacred Heart, and the dance of life itself. The energetic of life is motion, action. Let it be a song and let it be a dance, I say, and so it is.